Hi everybody, how's it going? Milby here, and just doing a little update video with you all. You might remember I put up a video on YouTube a month or so ago, saying I was playing all the Zelda games in a subathon. Well, it finished about 2-3 days ago. It lasted over a month, more than a month, which is way longer than I ever expected it to last. But I did manage to beat all the Zelda games, minus Zelda's Adventure, because that game is a piece of shit. Barely even a game. Barely could play it. I might come back to it one day. Probably not. The only one I didn't finish was Tears of the Kingdom, because that wasn't going to be a part of the subathon, because I wanted to enjoy my playthrough of that and not be like wildly deprived of sleep and knackered and just I didn't want to ruin it. So the mission was to beat 32 Zelda games leading up to Tears of the Kingdom, and then do Tears of the Kingdom in its own thing. And we did it. Shockingly, it took over a month. Took about, I think it lasted 38 days overall. It's mad, absolutely bonkers. I can't believe that people kept it going for that long. I'm very, very appreciative of everyone who supported me and helped keep it going. It's an achievement. It's not an achievement I'll probably brag about. I played video games for like over a month straight and barely left the house. That's not something I'm probably gonna tell random people on the street, but I did it. So yeah, I'm gonna make a video talking about it, my experience going through all the Zelda games, and I want to talk about them all individually. But I'm gonna just give like a general thing here. It was really fun. Before going into it, like I was looking forward to playing Tears, but I wasn't like super excited about it. After playing all of the Zelda games, I'm actually now like way more excited to play Tears, which I didn't expect. But I played a lot of Zelda games, but there was also a lot of games I had never played before. I played a lot of the Game Boy games I didn't really like. I played like a little bit of and then put down because I wasn't a big fan of the way they played. I played all of them now. Like I never played Oracles. They're actually pretty good games, the Oracle games. Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Those are games that I really feel like could do with a Link's Awakening style remake. Like I don't like Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, but I really like the remake, which tells me it's a good game. I just don't like the limitations in the way it's presented on the Game Boy. I had the same thing with the Oracle games. They did seem like they felt like good games, but they just had that Game Boy vibe and limitations that I just wasn't a fan of. So I would love to see those games remade. That'd be really good. Minish Cap I played for the first time, really good. That was actually like really, really good game. Link Between Worlds I played for the first time, that was great. As a big fan of Link to the Past, I really enjoyed Link Between Worlds. And Skyward Sword, which I'd never actually fully beaten before. So I did that as well. But we did so many games. Overall, we did like Zelda 2, Link to the Past. Some really weird BS Zelda games that was part of the Super Nintendo Satellaview. They were mad. They were like some of the highlights. They were weird, but they were really fun. We played all the 3D games, the Ocarina, Majora, Wind Waker, Twilight, Skyward. Probably more I'm forgetting. It's been so many. We played the Tingle games, which are very weird. One is just not a great game. The other one is a weirdly charming and fun point-and-click adventure game that I actually quite enjoyed. Played all the CDI stuff. Two of them I don't mind. I like Faces of Evil and Wand of Gamleon. I think they're like meme fun. Zelda's Adventure is just plain awful and barely playable, to be honest with you. What else did we have? Played all the Warrior games as well in there. I love the Warrior games. They're fun. Just kind of turn your brain off. Shit. We did Link's Crossbow Training, which I really enjoyed. Never played that before. It was so much fun. So much Zelda. I feel like I'm now an official Zelda expert. Not at beating the games, just because I've played so many, and now I now have a PhD in Zelda. You know. I can say I'm a Zelda expert, but I'm not an expert at beating them. I'm just an expert at playing all of them. put myself through this stuff. I did this with Sonic as well, and I played 70 plus games of Sonic. No, 80. I think 80 games of Sonic I've played now. All of them. I keep doing these things to myself. I don't know why. People are already like, what's the next one going to be? And I'm like, I can't think of that. I just spent like a month and a bit. I spent like 38 days just stuck in my house playing Zelda. I can't even think about what the next one's going to be. And I say that because but I actually already am thinking what the next one's going to be. There's a lot of games a lot of game series out there I love to do. Mario is definitely one of the ones I'm going to do at some point. It's just deciding whether it's going to be just the Super Mario games or if it's going to be every Mario, which would be quite an undertaking because there are, I think there's a good 100 or so of those. I don't know. If I include all the spin-offs, Mario Parties, Mario Tennis, all the Mario Karts. Oh my god, that could take a while. Could be fun though. It would be fun. We'd be doing a lot of different games. That's for sure. That's something I'm going to look into. Final Fantasy is what I'm thinking about. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base, let you know I've actually finished it. I'm going to do a proper video going through all the games and how I felt about them. I've done like a ranking on Google Docs, but I don't really like it. Ranking games I feel like is a bit stupid because there's no such thing as like you can't objectively rank them because it's always going to be personal, you know. No matter how much people go like, this is the objective best, just because you say it's objective doesn't mean it is. It's not really objective. You can't take emotion out of it. I'm sorry. We're humans. We can't. So yeah, I did a ranking based on like the games I like, but to be honest with you, like the top 6 or so, I like them all for different reasons. Because people were asking like, what's your favorite Zelda? And I'd always be like, I don't really have a favorite Zelda. I have aspects of each Zelda that I like. You know, I love Ocarina because it's just a simple, fun game to play, and I can just blast through it in a session without really thinking about it. And I love that about it. I love Majora because I adore the city and all the people and the time loop aspect and learning all the people's like schedules and how it all works together. I adore that. That's the thing I love about Majora. I love the sense of exploration in Wind Waker. The traveling across the sea to all the islands, it feels so good. It's one of the things I like about Breath of the Wild is that exploration. The exploration in games is big for me. Twilight Princess, I love because I love how cinematic it is. I love how serious, like, it takes itself very seriously, Twilight, which I kind of like as a change, you know? They don't always have to do that, because like I like Wind Waker as well, and that game does not take itself that seriously. It's a fun, wild game, Wind Waker. Twilight Princess is a very serious game for a Zelda game. It's quite dark. And it's very cinematic, like all the cutscenes, whoever directed that is no cinematography. It's really like cinematic, and I love that about that game. It's one of my things I love. It also has one of my favorite settings for a Ganondorf fight, which is in the field. When you and Ganondorf in the field, I love that fight. That's like my favorite setting for a Ganondorf fight. Even though Twilight Princess is pathetically easy. Like, there's things I like about all of them. I don't like Twilight Princess. Way too easy. Everything is a joke in that game. The Ganondorf fight is a joke. It's so easy, but it's still really, the setting for it is amazing. Like, Link to the Past, I like it because a lot of that's nostalgia. And I love the style of Link to the Past and the music as well and stuff like that. And Skyward Sword, admittedly, there's a new game bias there. Like, I have that. When you play a game for the first time, you're like, this was fun. I'd probably have to replay it and then be like, okay, what is it about this game I actually really like? Because when you're new to a game, you always have that, like, this is the best one. This is the best of all of them. And then later on, when you've come down from that high of the new game, you're like, oh, hang on a minute, let me actually like assess what it is. You're like, oh no, actually I think I do like those other games more. Like Breath of the Wild, when I was done, I was like, yeah, but I was just like, because I was like, it's a great game, but is it a great Zelda game? And after finishing it, this playthrough now, I was like, this actually might be one of my favorites. Like, I forget how much I like Breath of the Wild. I always like think back to it and go like, do I like it as much as I think I do? And I do. But yeah, I don't really, I can never really give people like that. This is my favorite because I don't have a favorite. I have favorites. I have the things I like from each of them, and um, Breath of the Wild merges a lot of that quite well. Minus the cinematic thing. I don't think Breath of the Wild is that as cinematic as Zelda game. Like that's the only thing I miss really from like of all of them is that Twilight Princess really nails the cutscenes, the cinematography, and stuff like that, and I really appreciate that. But yeah. And then when it comes to 2D, I just want a game that is fun to play. The 2D games are very different. Link to the Past is really fun. Obviously, Link Between Worlds is a great follow-up to Link to the Past. The Game Boy, the Oracle games are fun, even if they are held back by being on the Game Boy. Minish Cap is just great. It's a really good way to merge Wind Waker style with the pixel art. Sorry, I'm like bouncing on one foot at the moment because I can. What else? What else? I don't think there was anything else. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a actual like breakdown of all of them. Might take me a while, but I'm gonna get the VODs of that up on YouTube. They'll be fucking massive. I'm sorry about that. I know some people don't love that, but I don't want to just span it with like 20 parts of the playthrough. I'm just gonna upload large chunks of the playthrough, and if you want to watch them, in your own time, you can watch them. I'm also gonna be shoving up loads of little YouTube clips because Twitch have done this great thing where you can really easily adjust them vertically for like shorts on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. So I'm going to be grabbing a bunch of those and just putting those on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Because it's great. They're really great for exposure and they syndicate really fast. It's great. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you just want to look at random funny clips, then yeah, maybe you'll look at them and go, oh, I want to see that game now. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy all the Zelda. I'll be getting all those up, and then eventually I'll get Tears up as well. It's gonna take a while because there's like 38 days worth of footage I got to go through, and I got to cut it all up and cut out all of the breaks and stuff. Which I will miss some of the breaks. I can already tell you, I'm gonna miss a bunch of the breaks. It's gonna happen. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Hopefully you enjoy. And I will see you when I see you next. Bye-bye.